Welcome to BTV News. I'm Angelina Mambo. It's Sunday, the 12th of June 2016. Here are our headlines. IPOB press release debunk Nigerian Army statement over Amnesty International report. Buhari don't die yet until Biafra is restored. Willie Obiano, your blood money is an insult to the memory of the victims of Mbo massacre. Now the news in details. IPOB has released a new press release regarding the Nigerian Army's predictably lame response to an indicting report by Amnesty International on the killing of unarmed peaceful Biafrans. The blatantly illiterate and incompetent Nigerian Army responded to an indicting report by Amnesty International concerning the killing of unarmed and peaceful Biafrans, which occurred on the 29th and 30th of May 2016, in their usual manner of name-calling and peddling of lies. Before we go into the substance of the Army's response, there is the need to correct the misinformation contained in their statement. First, the Biafra Heroes Day remembrance is entirely an affair of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, under the leadership of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and not any other group. Smuggling in the name of other groups such as MASOB is like trying to give credit to compromised organizations who are known to be sellouts. Secondly, the Biafra Heroes Remembrance Day has been and will continue to be on May 30th of every year. Irrespective of the day of the week that is 30th of May, the Remembrance Day will always be celebrated on that date. Therefore, it is the height of deception for the Nigerian Army to claim that IPOB celebrated the Remembrance Day on May 31st, 2016. For record purposes, we IPOB make it clear that Nigeria never defeated Biafra, but instead it was foreign government, especially that of Harold Wilson, Labour Party Prime Minister of Britain, that convinced Russia and the United States to provide arms to Nigeria, deny Biafra legitimate access to weapons, and ensure international diplomatic shutout of Biafra. On the 30th of May of each year, we remember these gallant men and women that gave their life that this generation of Biafrans might live. Delving into the substance of the Army's response, how can the Nigerian Army explain how people who were murdered in their sleep on the night of May 29th suddenly became violent? How can someone be sleeping and be protesting at the same time? What are the unimaginable atrocities that the Nigerian Army cannot find a description for? To justify the use of live ammunition on Biafrans, Colonel Gambo claimed that Biafrans employed firearms, crude weapons, as well as other volatile cocktails such as acid and dynamite. Where are the arms and ammunition that the army recovered from the violent Biafrans? Is the army actually referring to the acid which they, the Nigerian Army, poured on the bodies of dead Biafrans as they lay in mass graves which was dug out at the cemetery inside Onitsha Army Barracks? Colonel Gambo, in reference to the damning report, averred that Amnesty have decided to inundate the general public with an anecdote of unverified narrative in order to discredit the Nigerian Army in the course of carrying out its constitutional duties, despite the inexplicable, premeditated, and unprovoked attack in the hands of the violent pro-Biafran. Also, inciting legal support for their heinous crime, Colonel Gambo stated that the Nigerian Army, in synergy with other security agencies under its constitutional mandate for military aid to civil authority, MACA, and military aid to civil power, MACP, acted responsibly in order to de-escalate the deteriorating security scenario institute. IPOB wished to state categorically that there is no place in the 320 sections and 7 schedules of the Constitution of Nigeria where the army is empowered to shoot at unarmed peaceful civilians, especially those who are sleeping. The Constitution of Nigeria has no such thing as MACA or MACP. And we challenge Colonel Gambo to point IPOB to the section or schedule of the Nigerian Constitution where such mandates are explicitly stated. From the report of Amnesty International, it is now crystal clear that Buhari and his murderous soldiers committed crimes against humanity against Biafrans. The International Criminal Court ICC will definitely rely on this report and other supporting reports and documents to ensure that justice is meted out to Buhari and his fellow bloodthirsty murderers in the Nigerian army. Muhammadu Buhari was part of the marauding soldiers that killed over 2 million Biafrans at Owerri in 1968. Prior to that mass murder he committed at Owerri, Buhari was one of the soldiers that stormed the government house in Ibadan on the 29th of July 1966 and cowardly assassinated his commander-in-chief, General J.T.U. Agunyi Ironsi, a Biafran of Igbo extraction. Historically, Muhammadu Buhari is used to shedding blood, and being the head of the armed forces of Nigeria, it is not a surprise that the Nigerian army will go to any extent to carry out the dictate of their bloodthirsty commander. The indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, is also aware of the army's strategy of persistently associating IPOB with other organizations in order to belittle or smear IPOB's hard-earned reputation and indirectly give credit to these compromised organizations. It is worthy to emphasize that 30th of May Heroes Remembrance Day is a project envisioned, designed and delivered by IPOB under the leadership of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, not any other group. From the first outing in 2014 to the just concluded one in 2016, the organizers and participants have been always the members of IPOB and not any other group or organization. This is the reason for the peaceful and disciplined manner that characterized the 30th of May celebration every year in more than 100 countries and territories around the world. For the Nigerian army, no amount of barefaced lies and misinformation will deceive the world from knowing the truth about the genocide committed by the army against the people they are supposed to be protecting from external aggression. The Amnesty International report is spot on and incontrovertible. The army's response is hogwash, fraudulent and cannot stand the upcoming ICC imprisonment of Buhari, Buratai, Araze, Obiano and other killers of unarmed and peaceful Biafrans. The proposed investigation by the Amnesty International should be encouraged to commence immediately. Also, Amnesty International should, however, neglect the destructive statement from the Nigerian army and continue with their own investigation now that the wounds are still fresh. News broke on 7th June 2016 that the German government would commence the supply of military hardware to support Nigeria's elusive effort in addressing her security challenges in the Northeast and Niger Delta region. It is shocking that even after Germany have witnessed the current spate of widespread violence and gross human rights violations attributed to Nigerian government through her army, police and other security forces, will still go ahead to supply armament to Nigeria's corrupt military and defense industry. It is noteworthy to say that the military hardware supplied to Nigeria by other countries is being channeled by the federal government to kill and slaughter peaceful and unarmed citizens of Biafra, exercising their right and freedom to self-determination. Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari said instead of Biafra to be restored under his watch, it is better for him to die. He made these comments in the State House Aso Rock after the alleged emergence of Niger Delta Avengers who recently threatened the country's economy by blowing up oil pipelines. President Buhari is currently in UK for medical treatment where he has been diagnosed of the Meniere disease, which is practically incurable. Reports are saying he has cancer but still unconfirmed. He is still in UK at the moment, with reports that he could extend his 10 days vacation, leaving his vice Osibanjo to take over in his absence. Buhari is a man who runs the country all by himself. He is the president and minister of oil and gas, and at the same time, the supreme judge controlling the judiciary. He is the man who abuses his power as the president and illegally persecuting his political enemy by neglecting court orders and illegally detaining them. This is a man who claims to be fighting against corruption, but indeed he is fantastically corrupt and has failed to probe the Halliburton scandal. Buhari is a co-founder and sponsor of Boko Haram terrorist group and has blood of millions of Biafrans in his hand. World leaders, UN, EU and Human Rights Watch clearly have a good knowledge about the Biafrans' plight and the genocide against them, but because of their love for the crude resources from Biafra land, they have decided to turn a blind eye to this evil act of Buhari and his government. The recent unholy visit of Willie Obiano to Umbo Community Town Hall, where he promised to pay the hospital bills of the wounded indigenous people of Biafra during the May 30th massacre of Biafrans honoring their fallen heroes and heroines at Umbo, has been viewed with indignation as an insult of the highest order by all Biafrans all over the world. This murderous governor had the audacity after the mass murder he committed against Biafrans to go to Mpo community and promise to offset the hospital bill of the wounded Biafrans. For him to promise to pay hospital bills of the same people he killed and wounded is a clear indication that his conscience is condemning him. He is certainly guilty and must not go unpunished. Obiano has automatically destroyed not only his political ambition, but as well his reputation on the surface of the earth, as Biafrans and the families of the innocent people he murdered, rendered childless, will never forgive him. Obiano's murderous actions will not go down well with him in history, no matter what he tries to cover it up. His recent promise to offset the hospital bills of the wounded Biafrans is simply a ploy to cover his atrocities. Biafran television called on the Human Rights Watch, Amnesty International, United Nations, International Criminal Court and other organizations to take note of Willie Obiano's atrocities in Anambra State on May 30th, 2016 and take adequate legal measures against him to bring him to book for justice. Let Willie Obiano and his cohort know it clearly that killing will not stop nor deter us from achieving the restoration of the sovereign state of Biafra. Biafra is our life, our hope, our choice and our future. There is no going back, and killing innocent Biafrans has watered the ground more for the evil contraption called Nigeria to disappear from the world map. Willie Obiano's murderous action has fast-forwarded this to fruition, and nothing will stop it. Obiano has a hand in the death and disappearance of many Biafrans and must not be allowed to go scot-free. Yes, Willie Obiano must not be allowed to go scot-free. Thank you so much for joining us here on BTV News. I'm Angelina Mambo, signing off from here.